and we'll be good to go. So, basically all that you can see right now is just like my AFK voice. Or not AFK voice, but like the little symbol logo thing I use for AFK. And you can hear us. And that's about it. So now let's send that to Discord. Okay, so I've got my notes on how I would like the session to proceed in one of my files. Let me pull that up as well. Usually I prep more and I have this stuff ready before sessions, but I was very sleepy and did not want to wake up. I was actually just waking up 1 hour ago.
Yeah.
There we go. Got that. And then I can post the link to the channel right here. Roll20, I don't know how much we're going to actually need of that for this first session.
But I'm hearing you twice.
What is?
Ah!
Oh, your thing.
Like, I'm hearing myself delayed and I'm hearing you twice.
Got it. Interesting. I don't know how to help with that, really. Usually how I fix that and how to make sure I don't get feedback is I just have headphones in, so, when I talk into the mic, the mic doesn't pick up anything that's being played out. I don't know what your audio situation is, so that would be my advice. I don't know how to help from there, though. But, let's see. So here's my first real statement of the campaign is, I know we've already done this, but we've had a week to think things over after our session 0, and we've had time to build things up again. So I'd like you to give kind of a finalized kind of meta introduction of your character onto the stream and to each other. So basically, introduce them like you would a stranger. Who would like to go first?
Well, since just about everyone is kind of linked based on me, I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm reasonably certain I'm the only person who is native to Sigil, but correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh, let me interrupt you. Also, introduce the player name that I'm going to be calling you by, so that if I need to call out your actual name, people know who I'm talking to, not just shouting into the void.
Oh, of course. Right. How could I forget? My player name is Fifrain. My character name is Talbin. I'm be playing the party's rogue. I am a noble from Sigil, from a long line of judges and lawyers on one side, and a wealthy merchant's family on the other.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm not entirely sure what else you need from me.
No, that sounds pretty good. Blair or Mars, would either of you like to go next?
Sure, I can go. My name's Blair. I'm playing Nerva's husband. She is a Wood Elf Druid. She's part of the Revolutionary League faction, and she's playing kind of a green anarchist type.
Okay.
So after being with them for a while, she is showing up in Sigil to do some anarchy. So yeah.
Don't we all want to do a little anarchy? And finally, we have...
I'm Mars. That's my player name. As a character, my name is Genetheria Alexandra Yelkir, and I became a bard because my noble family hired somebody to tutor me in that, because that's what I was interested in. And then I was put into an arranged marriage with a man, but I'm gay and fuck that, so I killed him, but nobody knows that. And now I just travel because that's what I want to do, and I want to have sex with all the women, so that's what I'm doing now, and that's why I'm in Sigil.
You know, hedonistic character motivations are still character motivations. I won't judge. Okay, so with that, I've got all of your D&D Beyonds, yes?
I believe so. Wait, can you see that in the link that I sent when I first was like, this is my character sheet?
Yes, that I can see that.
Okay, cool. Yes.
After the session, I will create an official game and we'll get all of that put together. But for now, let's start playing, right? Okay, so my first question to all of you is... I need to stop talking to the laptop. My mic's over here. My first question to all of you is, what part of the city of Sigil do you all dwell in currently?
Well, I'll be the first. I live in my family's mansion. Although I travel out to the city fairly often to inspect both my lands and interact with my populace.
Mm-hmm. And what's the situation
There's
like?
more than one part of Sigil.
Oh, say again?
Yeah, there's a lot of districts of Sigil. So what part are you two dwelling? You know, either one of you can grab that up.
Because I'm here in Sigil just to do some anarchy, I'm not really like a resident out here. I'm just traveled here to see what anarchy I can do, and so I'm just staying in various inns while I do what I can for the faction.
Interesting. Okay. So you're kind of a drifter on the wind. Okay, fair enough. And Mars, what are you...
Where would it make sense for me to be?
Well, are you connected to a certain faction, or are you a freelancer?
I am not super duper familiar with factions. I put that I was with the Fated, because I felt like that kind of fit just from the Wikipedia of it, but I'm not sure.
Honestly, I think if I had to pick a faction for your character right off the bat, and I'm not saying this is the one you have to choose, but the Society of Sensation seems kind of more of your character's cup of tea.
That does make sense.
Just sort of hedonist kind of feel, but like light hedonism. So we could say that both you and Blair's characters are kind of drifters on the wind right now. Okay. So, you all find yourself in the city of Sigil. It is this enormous floating ring far above a mountain. And under the mountain sits numerous plains in the outlands as this sort of sits as the weird center point in a giant wheel, as it were. So Sigil is kind of the spoke of that, or like the center point of that wheel. And Sigil is a city with odd geometry and odd rules to it. It's completely urbanized, 100%. There is almost no green space to be found in the place. It's a giant circle, and it's almost a mega city, as it were. Imagine a Blade Runner-y type city, but for D&D. And inside this giant ring, multiple factions fight for power, while the Lady of Pain, a silent and incredibly deadly god-adjacent being, watches over it all. So, as of now, there had been a truce between the factions, and there had been relative peace in the city for the time being. And within that peace, there was this ruling coalition. And while unpopular, it had been the Harmonium that had kind of emerged as the sort of de facto leader of the city for the time being.
Did we just lose someone?
Yes, Blair. I don't know if they timed out or something. That's not a big problem. And they're back. See? Don't worry about it. So there had been sort of a unspoken truce amongst the Harmonium and the coalition that had sort of factions that had agreed to work with the Harmonium. But one day, and sort of everyone either witnessed this event or heard about it very soon after. A being called a Root, a creature called an Inevitable, a very powerful sort of angel of law, as it were, in charge of enforcing deals that had been made, dragged out the leader of the Harmonium, the unofficial leader of Sigil at that time, into the town square, one of many, and had slain him right in the middle of broad daylight. This, obviously, shocked everyone, and the city became very, very unstable in the hours that were to follow. Nobody knew who had done it, and nobody had an idea of why it was done. People tried to get information out of the Root, but those immediately returned to their home plane after their deed is done. So there was no way to reach the Root. People immediately began pointing fingers. The Mercy Killers suspected the Sensation Society. The Sensation Society suspected the Zhao sects. The Zhao sects suspected other groups. The Zhao sects are notoriously unpredictable, so they kind of accused everyone, really. And there was, for a moment, almost complete anarchy in the city for a few hours. So, this is where we start with our character Talbin, who receives a letter via an imp that flies into your window. And the letter is set upon the desk in your mansion, and the imp flies out and does not speak again. You know what's going on in the city, and you know the chaos that is to follow. So, this is sort of a expected thing to arrive. You don't know what it's going to say.
Oh, very well. I'd like to read the note.
Okay. So, you open it up, and this is from a very high-up member of the Fated, your own faction, who believe that power in itself self-justifies. They are very hierarchical, and you know that this is going to be an order that you have to follow. The Fated say in their letter that we are displeased to hear about the current state of events in the city, that this was unexpected, and that we don't know what to do. We have, in the Fated, entrusted a task unto you, Talbin, to investigate one of our sworn enemies, the Revolutionary League, and we suspect that it was one of their members who has taken out this assassination. They despise hierarchies and they despise rules, and it was this that led them to do such a thing. We want you to find out who did it.
I burned the note.
Okay. From there, what do you do? The note is complete ash at this point.
From there, I'm going to, obviously since the note's gone, I now have a task. First thing I'm going to do is head to the Adventurers Guild in town.
Okay. Okay, so you make your way to the local Adventurers Guild. And it's a very chaotic building. You know, it's got a vast sign posted outside that goes about 40 feet high and is absolutely filled with requests. You know, there's always the sign is absolutely filled, and often double, triple layered with requests and demands for tasks and services rendered. And inside, it's an inn that is said to be run by a Zhao sect, but we don't know. And the inn itself is a very chaotic building, but not in a bad way. It's filled with a lot of laughter, a lot of loud music playing. You know, everyone's trying to show off. There's jugglers, there's sword swallowers. The scene is utter chaos, and even the main still of the tavern is just filled with adventures of, you know, varying levels of skill and capacity. Mars, Blair, are either of your characters present at this establishment?
Yes, my character is at the inn.
Okay. So,
you can see my character trying to hit on a half-orc that's at the bar.
okay, fair enough. So, you can see that amongst the roiling masses of this establishment, that there is one Revolutionary League member, though they don't say it outwardly, you can kind of tell from the general aesthetics of the dress they wear.
Okay.
But there's the tavern is in utter chaos, so where you go, who you approach, is entirely up to you, and your methodology is entirely up to you.
Alright, well first of all, I'm going to take a look at the job postings. Specifically, I'm going to look for if there's any more postings regarding the assassination or requests for investigation.
Mm-hmm. Do you know how in libraries, especially those very old libraries, they have those wooden staircases on wheels that you can kind of move around?
Yes.
The job poster is large enough that it requires one of those. And so, to go through every possibility, it would take hours and hours to search through. So,
Okay,
if you want to
can I
find it
see
very
then
quickly, it'll be an investigation check.
I'll do the investigation check, and I'll just attempt it at a glance.
Okay.
I'm just looking around to see what I can figure out right now.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's a 5, so it's not going to go well.
No, but you do see that Mrs. Withersby has lost her cranium rat.
That's unfortunate for Mr. Withersby. Mrs. Withersby. I'll have to see if I can help her find it later.
Mm-hmm. But no, you see no major mention of the assassination, which is odd considering how, notable a statement it is. It seems like all the factions right now are really trying to keep their head low and play a game of cloak and daggers instead of outright demanding to know who did it. Because, and this much you would know, is the former leader of the Harmonium who was assassinated was not beloved. Everyone hated him. Even your own faction did not like him. And they were part of his coalition.
Well, that makes it a little bit more difficult. I'm going to travel to the slightly more obvious Revolutionary League member. Actually, wait. Blair, do I recognize your character? Well, we talked about this before the session, but Blair and my character might have met each other before in previous faction struggles.
Okay, so this is a familiar face to you then.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'm going to go and see if I can talk to him about it.
Her.
Dang it.
That's all good. Okay. So what do you, how do you approach this?
Blair's character. What time of day is it?
Sigil really doesn't have a day. It's kind of eternally a little later in the day. So we can say that it's pretty much always going to be about 4 o'clock. It's more a matter of, is your ring in the part that gets sunlight right now? And we will say that yes, it's later in the afternoon.
Well.
That's just, a little bit of fluff.
Been some time. I say as I approach the character.
Mm-hmm.
Or as I approach the, wood elf, I want to say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's correct.
So how do you respond?
Greetings, I said.
Hello.
Been some time.
Since what?
Since last we met.
Remind me again, when was that?
Oh, a couple years back. Not for long, of course. There was that small thing with, the Dustman.
Oh, right, the Dustman. You're a noble, aren't you?
Yes, and actually at this point it should be well known that my family, that I am a noble, from a family of lawyers in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Most of whom follow, or are aligned with, what was it, the
Harmonium's little coalition.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's all good. Take as long as you
most
need.
of them are aligned with the Fraternity of Order.
Okay.
A few align with the Mercy Killers, but those are less common.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I am a well-known noble in the city, although not a powerful one. Where were we?
You were saying hi?
I did say that.
What's a noble like you doing in an area like this?
Well, with all this confusion around, it helps to check on your people. If I don't know what the masses think, what the masses are doing, how can I aid them?
But why in a place like this? Why at the Adventurers Guild?
Everybody knows an adventurer.
But you don't go to an Adventurers Guild unless you need one.
What if you are one? Did I ever tell
What
you
if
I
I am?
signed up?
No.
Well, I have. I was actually here on business, though.
What business takes you here?
Well, I'd like to know a little bit about the Revolutionary League and how it's... Well... You know how what's been in the news lately. What's going on in the city.
About us and the assassination? Are you accusing us?
Accusing you? Heavens, no. No. I don't know why an inevitable would come into the city. The power it would take to summon something like that. I don't know who in the city could do such a thing. What I'm wondering is if the Revolutionary League possibly has any information they could spare. Whether they know anything that I might not. Whether we can get to the bottom of this. The sooner we find peace, the better off my people will be.
As for us, the sooner that this is all blown over, the sooner that we can...
Well, at the very least, we'll need a new leader, and until we figure out who has done it or why, we cannot elect one, for fear that he may be taken out too.
Exactly what I was thinking. I think we should go together as equals to gain...
Equals... Yes, why not? I do think we should travel together, though. For safety, perhaps. Maybe you might not know as much about this, but perhaps someone you do know would have more information. A better contact point than I have at my disposal.
And so,
Sure.
Blair, I hate to interrupt. Two things. One, your mic is dropping just a little bit. I don't know how to fix that. And two, you would have received sort of a message from your faction as well, though your faction obviously abstains hierarchies, and so this came from a comrade fellow of yours, an equal, but a respected equal, that says not to suspect the Harmonium or the Fated, but that they suspect that this was taken out by the Mercy Killers. So that would be the lead that you've received, though you're free to believe it or not. Okay. Carry on.
What were we
I'm
talking
sorry.
about?
Oh, as I was saying, perhaps by traveling together and talking to people you know, we might get a deeper lead. I think perhaps maybe one faction is not enough to figure out what's going on. Perhaps each faction has information that could lead to the truth.
I agree. I think we should.
What's that?
Do you have any of that information? Do you know anyone who does?
I don't have any information, but
My mic is cutting out.
my mic.
Oh, there we go. Okay, repeat that, Fifth? I didn't quite hear you.
Oh, I didn't. I was listening to Blair. Which part did you miss?
Most of it. My mic cut out for a second.
All right. Well, as I said, I believe that my faction and Nerva's faction alone are not enough to gather the truth of the story. I think working together would be the way. To learn the truth. So I asked if Nerva had any information that might be able to tell us more, or if she knew anyone that did.
And I said I didn't, but I was going to say I think we should look around the Adventurers Guild in the larger area to see if there's anyone
God damn, why is my mic
might have any
dropping out?
information.
That's weird.
Well, that's why we're here, aren't we? So,
Hang on for just 1 second while I try and fix this. Thanks.
of course.
Let's see. Test. Fifth, can you say something?
Yeah, it works.
I can hear you just fine.
Fascinating. Okay, there. I think there we go.
Are we
It's
good?
a great mic, it really is, but the headphones I'm using with it are maybe not so great. And really love to cut out. So it can be a bit of a pain getting these to work. And I'm so sorry that it has to be that way.
It's not plugged in.
Oh, I think...
No worries. Take your time. I've got nothing better to do today.
Oh, I think it's working. Okay. We're good for now. Okay. So,
Would you like me to repeat that again, or?
you two have decided to work together, and that is where I kind of dropped off.
Yes. We decided to work together, and we've decided to sort of investigate around the room, see if anyone of perhaps some of the other factions in here has the information we're looking for.
Okay. There's a lot of figures. There's a fellow in basically Plague Doctor attire. There are the jesters and the looters in the corner. Looters being people playing loot, not thieves and bandits and such. You've got fellows in hefty armor, fellows in raggedy attire, and a couple drow smoking and drinking in their corner. Some gnomes doing the same, but notably more jovial. And you have a half-orc getting flirted with by a strange elf. So that's what's going on in the room.
Well, I'm going to go talk to the bartender first,
Okay.
and I'm going to ask the bartender if they have any information regarding this, or if they have any leads.
Okay. The bartender is a surprisingly rare sight in Sigil, a human. And He's been doing his own rounds. He's nothing too remarkable, though he is notably haggard, as he's very busy and kind of old as well. So you approach him, and he kind of gives you a stink eye while he's, working on two different things behind the counter. What do you do?
Please.
Yeah, that's what they all asked for. Give me a sec. I've got two other people I need to fix up.
Take your time. Take your time.
That's what they all say. Then they yell at me.
Relax. You know me.
Oh, Talbot. Great. Listen, I'm about 5 days from retirement. Just let me be. You're not going to bring me into one of your schemes again, are you?
Not this time.
Not this time,
But I
says.
would like to ask you a question.
What do you need?
You know what's in the news lately. I want to know if you've heard anything about it. If you've heard anything that might be a lead.
Let's see. Mrs. Withersby last saw her cranium rats on 17th, I think.
So I've noticed.
That's not what you're asking about, is it, though? You want something more juicy.
You read me so well.
Small quests and helping people isn't really your thing. Alright, here's what I know. Because I have a dear friend who was in the area when it happened. And I can tell you this. That there was definitely something amiss about that killing. When the Collier route drug him out, they were holding something in their hand. It was
Remember the Collier route?
Yes, it was a dastardly ring. Some sort of magical artifact. I don't know what it is, but some folks are saying...
ring, you say?
Yes, some folks are saying that was some form of control collar or something of the like. Though controlling a Collier route, that's an impressive feat. Those things are very powerful.
That's near impossible.
Yes. So it had to have been... Well,
Thank you.
I
You've
dare
given me
not
much
say.
to think about.
I
will...
I know this much, and I'm sorry for interrupting you, but... And he drags you really close, and he whispers in your ear. There was something about that ring. It's... There's a very distinctive style it was forged in. That kind of metalwork. You only see it with the Mercy Killers. Some of them are here,
Thank you very much.
watching, though. I didn't say anything to you.
No, you didn't say anything at all. I'm going to slip him a full gold coin.
Ready, gold is useless here, but that well enough. He goes back to what he's doing. Giving you sort of a mean side eye, as it were.
Can I see any mercy killers in the room?
Yeah, the heavily armored
Anyone
folk.
who might be? The
Yes.
armored folk?
Yeah. Mercy killers are almost always in heavy armor. They're well known for sporting it wherever they go. They're very proud of their weaponry.
In that case, I'm going to find Nirva again.
Well, first, let's say, in that time, Nirva, what were you up to?
Yes, actually, that makes sense.
So, Blair, you have the same options that I listed to Fifth. An array of people are sort of scattered across this establishment. Who do you approach?
I want to approach the drow.
Okay. The drow seem to be from the Society of Sensation. They're trying a very interesting pipeweed. Not really a thing drow generally do. This is more of a halfling thing. But they are dedicated to experiencing all the pleasures of the multiverse. And so pipeweed from the halflings needs to be one of them. They aren't sure how they feel about it, and they seem to be in good enough spirits as you approach. There's 3 of them, 2 gentlemen, and the lady who seems to be their keeper.
Okay, I walk up to them and I ask what they have there.
Oh, this is old Toby, finest pipeweed in the South Shire. Though, not
Pipeweed?
really my
What's that? I've never heard of it.
Oh, you know, you stick it in a pipe and then you smoke it. It's okay, I guess. I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this. How about you, Alexander? And he gestures to his other friend, who seems to be very enjoying it. Well, I think I found some very good stuff today. Their keeper seems to be looking at both of them like you're fucking idiots.
So, I assume you've heard about the news with the assassination. I've just been trying to see everything I could understand. I haven't been able to get much reliable information, and I was wondering if you'd have any.
If we have any, Alexander, haven't you heard anything? And Alexander sort of nods his head along, yeah, I think I did hear something. I heard that it wasn't a collier root. I heard that it was 3 gnomes in a stilt costume that did it.
I see it, but how could 3 gnomes do that to someone?
They were extremely acrobatic, don't you know? That was their technique. They had intense balance, and as a triad force, they were stronger than they were alone. Don't you see, man? The gnomes, they run this city.
The gnomes? They run Sigil?
They run Sigil, that's right. All those powerful guardians, the Lady of Pain herself, she's just 3 gnomes.
I see. Well, that's certainly some interesting news. I look towards the keeper drow. Have you heard anything?
Well, frankly, I wouldn't listen to a damn thing these 2 say. What I've heard from the Society of Sensation is they're saying don't get involved in it. Keep enjoying your pipeweeds and whatever else you enjoy. And don't get murdered. I hear the other factions are out for blood, and it's in our best interest not to be the one to draw the blade first. I have no interest in power. I have no interest in getting involved. I'm staying out of this.
What was the last part it cut out for me?
She said she's staying out of this.
I see.
Is my mic too loud?
No, I hear you just fine.
Okay, I just want to make sure
Yeah.
it's not, overpowering.
Well, thanks anyway for the interesting ideas. I bow and leave their table.
Mm-hmm. And he kind of leans over as you go, no, it's the gnomes, man, believe me. Believe. They're out there.
I pay him no mind.
Yeah, she smacks him on the back of the head. So, You know what? Since a lot of time has passed in this tavern, and we haven't had any Genetheria, let's have some Genetheria time. What is Genetheria up to?
It seems that I was unsuccessful in doing that half.
No.
Sigh.
No.
No?
No.
Oh,
No.
yay, okay.
No. She.
What?
No. She's very flattered by your offer, but she says that she's currently spoken for, and that she's not too interested right now. But she appreciates it,
boy.
and she flexes her muscles like, I'm glad someone thinks I look nice, and but she delightfully turns you down.
What a delightful way to be turned down.
Mm-hmm. Yes, half-orc flexing in front of you, saying, and like with their muscles spelling out like, no, fuck today.
But then a tattoo, make it do the wave.
That's some cool letter art. So, with your success or your unsuccessful wooing under your belt, what do you get up to next, Genetheria?
Do I see their attempts to talk to both the bartender as I'm kind of at the bar close to that, and then also with the drow?
I mean, wow, there's some very loud background noise. You saw that the bartender sort of drag Talbin close and whisper something in his ear, though you couldn't make it out. And you saw a sort of small breakdown a drow had as he cried about some gnomes.
I presume since I was at the bar, she would have noticed me, even if she couldn't hear what I was talking about
Yeah.
with the bartender.
No, she definitely noticed.
Do they strike me as, or no? Do I strike them as odd and like out of place?
That's up to Nerva and Talbin. Does she strike you as odd? She's definitely
Honestly,
flamboyantly
with
dressed.
the range, well, obviously flamboyantly dressed, but with the range of characters I see here at the bar and in the room, I don't think that's particularly strange.
No. She's definitely
Not
the
an
most
investor's
colorfully
guild.
dressed, but, you know, there's plenty of odd characters here.
Sensationalist, what can you do?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely noticed the orc politely yet firmly saying no.
Yeah. You notice some sad flexing. That's definitely something you notice.
Oh.
So, okay. So Talbin, you just finished your close-up with the barkeep. What do you do?
Well, I'm gonna go try to find Nirva again, I suppose.
I mean, while it's very loud in here, it's not too crowded that you can't make your way easily back up to Nirva. So
Besides,
you two made
there's
up.
some crazy drow
Mhm.
making a scene in the corner. And she wasn't too far from that, I suppose.
Gnomes, man. Gnomes. Yeah. So you two meet back up. What do you say to each other?
Nirva,
Yes.
I think I've got something.
Oh, what is it?
Well, I'd like to discuss it somewhere less, if you don't mind.
Sure. Where would you like to speak?
We can just head outside. There's some places that are less traveled.
Alright.
So-
We head outside then.
Yes, I'm gonna lead Nerva outside.
Mm-hmm.
Not particularly stealthy manner, just walking out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to Well, I'm gonna see if there's anything in the alleyways nearby the tavern or the guild.
So, there, in the first alleyway you check out, there seems to be a mind flare kind of. Yeah, Sigil has a lot of strange residents, and mind flares aren't.
A mind flayer.
Yeah, they are surprisingly not a rare sight here. They're.
Okay.
I mean, listen, Sigil, you can genuinely find angels and devils just walking about on the street. Like, to see a mind flayer, while not common, isn't like a super rare thing. You know, it'd
So
be.
I'm not like completely surprised or shocked by the existence of the mind flayer being there.
No, imagine like Star Wars with Cantina. You know,
Fair enough.
Luke seeing all those weird aliens, he'd be like, "What the hell?" But he wouldn't be like, "Oh, I need to run right now. There's an alien here." He'd be like, "Oh, that's weird. Okay, keep to myself." So yeah, there's a mind flayer who seems to be sort of drinking from a strange cup in this alleyway.
I'm gonna be as far from that alleyway as possible.
Okay, so you look for another one, and you find one with nobody in it, just a few boxes.
Alright. So that's where I'm gonna stop Nerva and I'm gonna start talking again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Janatheria,
So-
you see the two head out quickly.
Can I be sneaky and follow them?
Yes. Do you have a backpack on you?
I believe so.
Okay. In that case, you can quickly change out of your more flamboyant clothes into something a bit more subtle, and you can follow them, yes.
Cool. Okay, well then I do so.
Spot her?
What?
Can we spot her?
I'm going to say both of you make a perception, and Jenna make a stealth. And publicly announce what you get on those rolls.
So,
Whoa, that's very loud.
I'm so sorry.
Please
What did
do
you
not
roll?
roll on your mic. Thank you.
I rolled a 19.
Okay.
A 19 for stealth?
Yeah, man,
Jesus.
that's completely feasible. And then...
Yeah, I only rolled a 2 for
Perception.
perception. I'm a bit focused on this right now.
Mm-hmm. And Blair, what about you?
15
Wait, did
for
I say, what did I say?
Just regular perception.
Did I say 2?
You said 2, yes.
I meant 7. I'm sorry. I completely just... I have a +2 bonus, so I just...
That's okay.
15 for me.
15? Okay. So, neither of you notice anything. Though Talbin seems very focused on the task at hand. Nerva, you know, you're still keeping a bit of an eye over your shoulder and staying a little skeptical. But neither of you notice Genetheria sort of listening in on you as you make your way into the alleyway.
Okay.
Okay. Then quietly, so as not to really be heard, I whisper to Nirva. Right? Yeah. So this is what I heard. From some of the information I've gathered, it's possible the Kolgri route may not have been working on its own. It was most likely bad.
Bad?
Say again?
You said it was bad?
I said it was bound.
Oh, just kidding. I see. Yeah, the information I got is not of you. Some theories.
Oh. Did you talk to the drow in the corner?
Yeah.
Did they tell you about the gnomes?
Yeah.
They've been on those for years.
I should have known.
Gnomed.
But more about. I should have known. And then what's the significance of that? Does that mean that
Well, that's the
there's
the
something more?
interesting thing. From what I gathered, apparently the item used to bound the Kolya root had a strong semblance to being made by the Mercy Killers. Do you know anything about that? Perhaps you've heard something about the
Vaguely.
Mercy Killers in the last few days?
Vaguely, I think I remember something about them. But I don't remember what their demographic is. If they're trying to do anything, quickly looks up on the wiki.
So the thing about the Mercy Killers is some of my family actually belong to them. Their philosophy is all about justice, 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 punish criminals, punishment leads to perfection, and it tends towards imprisonment, but also towards just hiring bounty hunters to bring in criminals. Which is why a lot of them are wearing heavy armor. Because a lot of them just are there to bring swift justice in the best, fastest way possible.
Should we then try to seek out someone from the Mercy Killers? Because they certainly would have reason to contract with someone from the Adventurers Guild.
I don't know about talking to the adventurers who work with the Mercy Killers. They can be a stubborn bunch. Perhaps I can talk to some of the people in my family who might have connection.
Now,
So
Genetheria.
now we have,
Sorry to
now we have a
interrupt.
lead.
Genetheria, while you're overhearing this, and you're just barely overhearing it too, what you've managed to do is get into one of the buildings nearby and are listening from behind the wall with a very cupped ear. You remember that you have wooed a Mercy Killer into bed not too long ago, in fact, and had overheard murmurs of a plan sort of similar to this during the bedside talk. So you kind of know what they're talking about. If you want to make your presence known or just keep following them, that's up to you.
I'm going to make my and say Mercy Killers, like really loud.
So, yeah, you...
Like enough for them to hear, but not enough for like the octopus face to hear.
Can we see
But,
where it came from?
Mind Flayer?
Yeah, the Mind Flayer.
Yeah, from behind...
The second I hear that, I'm gonna stop talking. Cut it short. Full alert.
From behind the wall, you hear that, an exclamation. But again,
Then,
it's not too loud. You are certain that only you and Nerva have heard this exclamation.
I'm gonna immediately go quiet. I'm gonna hush Nerva, and I'm going to start searching for where the noise came from.
Okay. So Jenna, they've gone quiet. Do you walk out of the building you're in and come up to them, or do you keep hiding?
Well, do I have like any useful information besides knowing what they're talking about?
You know how to get into the Mercy Killer's barracks because you were there not too long ago.
Oh, I see. Okay. I approach them.
So stepping out from the building and into the alleyway, you see the elf from earlier, Jenna, approaching both of you. What do you do as she comes up?
I recognize her as the very flamboyantly dressed elf.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, my sword's drawn.
Mm-hmm. Nerva?
And pointed at her.
I won't draw any weapons, but I will turn and look and keep a safe distance if she approaches.
Mm-hmm. So, Jenna, how do you make your presence known in a way to sort of assuage their fears?
I start playing my lyre, and I introduce myself as Genetheria Alexander Yelkir, and I bow deeply.
Is performance a skill? I don't remember.
Yes, performance is
Okay,
a skill.
give me a performance check real quick.
Ah, shit. Okay.
No.
Boop.
I
rolled a 4.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So she
Maybe roll plus 4 then, so that's 8.
she puts her foot on one of the boxes, right? And begins to strum a very slightly out of tune lute. And she says, "I am Genetheria." And as she says that, the box gives way and she falls into the collapsed wood crate under her face.
Ouch.
Talbin, you can immediately tell that this is someone who is not a threat to you.
And you're trying to weasel out of this. What did you hear?
Something about... Wait, what are they called again?
Mercy Killers?
Right. Something about the Mercy Killer. And about someone who died, and then there was a root, but maybe there wasn't a root, and something about no?
Why were you following us?
The one up is very pretty.
You know what, though? Given what we've established about her character so far, that's fair enough. That's legitimate.
That's a good reason. That's fair enough. That's pretty legit. Back in character. Well, since I obviously can't hide it from you, and really have no reason to, would you like to work with us?
Certainly.
Do you know anything about the Mercy Killers?
I slept with one recently, so I know how to get into their hideout.
Well, that is convenient. I don't suppose you'd be willing to show someone the way.
Sure, as long as I can hold that widow's hand.
I mean, I guess.
And then I proceed to lead them there.
Okay. So, the Mercy Killers live in probably one of the least inviting districts in the city. The Dustmen have, I would argue, the least inviting, but the Mercy Killers aren't far behind. You have all heard of the Plain of Acheron, a land of eternal warfare and a place with scarred landscapes and metal facades. It's almost as though someone had taken the Plain of Acheron and brought just a little bit of it to Sigil. It is an extremely uninviting part of the city. There is barbed wire on many of the tops of the buildings. There are boarded up windows. The buildings that do seem to be pristine have, armed soldiers on the outside. And there seems to be a constant police state-like presence in this place. It is foreboding at its very worst. Armed soldiers are not so much a thing reserved strictly for the military, but everyone is armed to the teeth here. Whether they know how to use the weapons or not. Even the children have short swords on hand.
Somewhat understandable.
Mm-hmm.
Given the area. Okay.
Yeah. The Mercy Killers themselves house themselves in a place called the Grand Barracks. It is an astonishing military building, rising some 70, 80 stories tall like a flak tower, but broad as a building like the Pentagon. This building is an immense labyrinth of steel. And normally a place like this would be nigh impregnable. But Jenna, amazingly enough, one of the soldiers outside recognizes you from last night. Or not last night, but a couple nights back. And whispers in your ear. And so you know to go to the 5th block of the building and whisper a secret code into the wall. And after that, there will
I
be...
do so, as I lead them there.
Mm-hmm. And after that, there will be a trapped hallway and a specific code you need to enter. And you are told that as well. And with that, you two find yourselves welcomed into the inner sanctum of the barracks. Normally, a place like this would have strict security checks, but...
by you two, you mean myself and Nirva as well?
Yes.
Okay.
And it does. The fact that you two know how to get past the lethal traps proves that you're welcome here. There are armed people everywhere. Even the outsiders, like members of the Dustmen and Jiao sects who are here, are well armed. Everyone's going about their business, though, as if this were completely normal. There's an active training going on between about 40 to 50 armored fellows in one corner of the building. But you are free to walk about from this courtyard to wherever in the building you want right now.
Alright. Now, wherever in the building we want?
Pretty much. As long as you aren't going in any of the completely off-limits, high-secret areas, you can make your way about the barracks right now.
Okay. Everyone and their mother is armed, and there's a couple people sparring off to the side.
Mm-hmm. Everyone seems to have their own business and paying no mind to much of any of you.
Then I'm going to break away from this pair.
Mm-hmm.
And make my way towards... Do any of the doors have a sign on it that they might be, I don't know, some kind of High Commander's room or a hallway thereof?
So this building is perfectly partitioned into 5 different sections, each with a door that stands about 10 feet tall, marked with the Mercy Killers' well-known insignia, which is basically a circle covered in thorns. And to your knowledge, what you do know is that the Mercy Killers' highest commanders will be on the highest floor of the building.
I want to draw my scimitar, and then we have the password to go to the 5th block of barracks, correct?
The what now?
5th block of barracks, right? Or
yeah, you're allowed in the barracks.
Jenna has the password for that, right?
Yeah, Jenna has the way in and out of this building.
Okay. Give me a sec.
That's all good. Take as much time as you need.
Are any of the doors also trapped and or locked, or can we enter and exit them?
The 5 doors in the courtyard are not locked. They simply require a touch and they lift open.
In that case, I will go through Not the one we came out of, but probably... let's go 2 doors to the right.
2 doors to the right? Okay. You open up this heavy doorway and make your way inside.
Okay.
And inside you can see the various housings for members of the barracks. Each little metal door leads to a very Spartan living space. And the sort of walkway, that the grand central staircase that leads from each door up to the higher floors within.
In that case, is there anyone around?
Nobody's watching you right now, from what you can tell.
In that case, I'm going to make my way towards one of the staircases while I'm not being watched.
Okay. Nerva, Jenna, what are you two up to?
I'll follow and keep watch from the base to make sure no one's following.
Okay, you're following with Talbin?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still connected because we're still holding hands, so I guess I'm following too.
Okay. So all 3 of you are sneaking your ways to the higher floors. What floor are you aiming for?
Let's go to the... How many floors are there? 5? 3?
We can say there are 5 sort of administrative regions of this building, but there's 50 floors. It's an immense tower of a building.
Oh. Well, if that's the case, I doubt there's anyone in the staircase. I'm going... Jesus. Let's try the 40th.
Mm-hmm.
What's on the 40th floor?
That's the top floor, yes?
40.
40. Oh yeah, I said it was 50. That's right. Okay, so as you head up the floors, you get to about the 25th when you see that there is sort of a break in the staircase, and that beyond the 25th floor there is a gateway blocking those from going higher up in the building. And standing in front of the gateway is its guard, which is an immense iron golem.
Oh. Is it safe to assume there's one of these in every staircase?
Yes, the Mercy Killers are very, very serious with their security.
What do I know about golems? Can they speak?
This one, at least, is capable of very limited speech.
Can it understand Talbin?
Can it what?
Can it understand common?
It can understand common, yes.
Okay. I turn to a Genetheria. You've been here before, haven't you?
I believe so.
Maybe you can pass. See if it'll let you through.
Alright. I approach, mirror in hand, and I play a tune as I ask for passage through the door.
Mm-hmm. What do you say to it? Goodness. What do you say to it?
May I enter?
And it kind of hums it back to you like... And you can see it doesn't really. This one doesn't really have a face, as it were, but more sort of just like a large series of dots placed across it. And the dots sort of light up and it sorry about this. Give me one sec.
You good?
Oh, people on stream can still hear that. I'm sorry. I just realized people on stream could still hear that. So the creature takes that information and it steps aside temporarily and it lets Jenna through.
Does it let us through?
It does not let either of you
Make
through.
the attempt. I'm actually going to walk up.
Mm-hmm.
What information did it take from her?
It heard her voice and then it hummed it back to her.
Yep. I'm going to make my way to the. Yeah, I'm going to attempt to make my way through, or rather, I'm going to walk up towards the gate as it's open. Does
Okay.
it try to stop me?
Yes, it immediately puts a 4 foot wide, or not 4 foot, but 2 foot wide metal hand between you and the gateway. And you can see it nodding its weird dot face, or shaking its weird dot face no.
May I pass?
Pass.
That would be a no then.
That would be
Was
no
I
then.
dragging? Was I dragging side with Genetheria because she was holding my hand, or was I stopped?
You were not stopped.
Talking to Genetheria again. Perhaps you can ask it to let us through.
Can I persuade it?
Yeah, what do you want to try on it?
Just playing my lute and saying, "Can my friends come through?" in a sing-songy voice again.
Mm-hmm.
Do I roll for that?
No, you know how to do a sing-songy voice. That's not something you have to roll for. This is more of a puzzle than it is a combat or skill thing. And you repeat the action from before, and the golem sort of hums along with you, and it lets Talbin through.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Do it
much.
let Nova through, or do I have to repeat that?
No, it let Nerva through because you two were... It kind of read you as one entity. So it steps back once all three of you are through and slams the gate behind you and resumes its guard position. You now...
What's in the room?
Wait,
We're still in the staircase, I think.
yeah.
Are
You
we
now
still in the
have
staircase?
full access to the inner sanctum of the Mercy Killers.
Good. I'm going to continue up towards the inner sanctum again,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to keep an eye out for any of the upper members of the Mercy Killers.
Yeah, so you two all three of you sort of keep an ear out. And at this point, you're no longer passing barracks rooms like the low-ranking grunts would sort of sleep in and such. But now you're passing armories. And you can hear the sound of forging.
Okay.
You wanted to go to the 40th floor, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, that's what's happening on the 40th, is the entire floor is a dedicated armory.
What about the 45th?
The
I'm gonna
45th?
start paying attention for what's happening on the floors.
Okay, will do. The 45th seems to be sort of a library of sorts. What exactly are you looking for?
I'm actually hoping to find a floor that has either a conference room of some sort or barracks of some of the higher members. Not necessarily too high up, but officers, for example.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, to a mercy killer, an armory and a conference room are kind of the same thing and serve a similar purpose. And as you look into the armory, you notice that this is a place of recreation. That this is also serves as a tavern and a place to relax. And you see weapons being forged here that you can't even give a name to. They're very strange creations. You know, there's your typical fare,
Wonderful.
A sword, a lance. And there's weird ones that you don't see very often. Like a oddle or a kutai, a karambit, an
Very
arquebus. And there's some that you genuinely don't know the name of. And these seem to be things that the few mercy killers that are in the room seem to be laughing and talking about.
Understood. I'm going to make my way into the room.
Okay. They sort of give you a weird look for a second, and one approaches you three. Much like many of the mercy killers, their body is completely encased in armor, and you cannot see their face. You cannot make out the species of your new interlocutor, and you don't know much about them. They speak in a deep voice.
What size are they?
What?
What size are they?
I'm sorry, say that one more time?
What size are they? Small, medium, large, chunky?
Medium, but bordering on large.
They're significantly bigger than us, I think.
Yeah. Generally, most mercy killers tend to be really, really big people. And this stems from the fact that to them might is right, oftentimes. And that the rule of law self-justifies. Not in the way the fated do.
Literally years at the gym.
But yeah. Like, even the halflings who are mercy killers, which is rare because the halfling mentality and the mercy killer mentality is very diametrically opposed. But even the small mercy killers tend to be really, really big compared to your average ones. So you can't even make out the species of this being. Do you have permission to be here?
Why, of
We
course.
do, we were...
What's the passcode?
I repeat what I said to enter their fortress.
The one you said at the wall?
Yeah.
Got it. Special visitors. Don't touch anything. And don't make a mess. I wouldn't want to have to... Actually, I would very much enjoy that. And he just chuckles and goes back to talking with his friends.
So cheerful. Alright, so what's going on in the room? We have...
There's drinking, feasting, and forging happening at the same time.
I'm gonna walk over to the drinking. Yep.
Okay.
Does the room seem to be leading anywhere?
The what?
Does the room seem to be leading anywhere?
This room is almost the entire floor. So the entire 40th floor is a giant armory. Like, the entire floor is.
Hmm.
So there's
Okay.
the grand staircase up to the higher floors, but the entire floor here is an armory.
I see. I'll go walk towards the forging area, but I'll just hang out there
Mm.
and watch.
Actually, is there anyone who's being somewhat shady, would be a good way to say it? Anyone who's off just in a corner or appears to be trying to be somewhat subtle or unnoticed?
So in this part of the floor, you do notice that there is someone who is not an enormous himbo beefcake, but is sort of thinner, but still covered head to toe in armor, and currently working on some sort of forging and sort of half drinking whatever they got from the bar still. The liquid from the bar still here looks like it's literally liquid metal.
Okay, well, that's somewhat odd. Are they with anyone?
Currently, they seem to be staying on their own and not really paying much mind to anyone else.
Well, thank you. I'm gonna go talk to the drunkards.
I want to go talk to the drunkards too.
Okay, so the big group.
Yeah, well, how many groups are there that are drinking?
Like,
Is there one big group?
yeah, it's generally like, at least in the section of the floor you're on, since it's a circular kind of building. For the part you can see, yes, there's one big group sort of drinking away.
Alright.
Okay, so there's a group of about 12 to 15 fellows. Most of them have their faces concealed except for their mouths, which are drinking.
Seems fair enough. Well, I'm gonna go over and order a drink.
Mm-hmm. There's an Azer tilling the bar stand here. What do you want?
What have you got?
Fire brew.
Do I know anything about fire brew?
Yeah, it's something Ifriti drink.
Say again?
Something the Ifrit drink.
Oh.
Well, do you want some or not? Quit wasting my time.
Yeah, pour me a glass.
He gets you a very large glass, and he looks at you and he says, "You're not supposed to be here, are you?" And you hear sort of, it sounds like someone's casting a forge as he pours the liquid inside, and it glows slightly as he hands it to you. Drink up, little boy.
Gladly. I'm going to attempt to drink what I assume is liquid fire.
It's not liquid fire, but it is a strange experience for you. Fifth, do you remember when we went to that Thai restaurant one time?
Yeah?
Do you remember what it was like eating the peppers there?
Yeah.
Imagine that, but someone like dropped it into a cup of whiskey and just like squeezed like 15 or 20 of those bastards inside.
Okay.
Jenna, Nerva, Talbin's face goes red for a moment, and you can definitely hear him grow visibly quieter.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to stop my face from doing something.
Talbin, how do you react to very, very spicy drink?
Yeah, it's not the smoothest I've had.
He says, like, while you can visibly see him, like, trying not to cry.
I walk over to him and ask him, "Are you okay?"
Yeah, I'm actually having a great time. Try this.
I reluctantly try the drink.
Okay. Actually, both of you, give me a Constitution save.
That's what I thought. Okay. $15.
15? Okay. And Nerva?
14.
Okay. So, both of you keep it down, but you are in immense mouth pain. It's like you bit directly into the hottest pepper you could find. It is physically not something you can't endure, but intensely painful. And you kind of want to, like, stick your head into water. And,
Genetheria.
what?
Yes?
You're gonna want to try this. This stuff's great.
Oh, I've tried that before. No, thank you.
More wisdom than your character might think they have. That's fair. Okay, so
Suit yourself.
intermixed with
I'm
your
gonna-
dying, what are you doing?
So I'm going to take the massive glass and I'm going to plop over next to the massive group of, well,
Big boys?
alcoholics. Big
Mhm.
boys.
And they were looking at you and Nerva's little attempt, and they're having a hoot and a holler. They're laughing at you guys. And they're swilling this stuff like it's nothing.
So is this the only stuff you guys got around here?
Nah, it's just today's drink. Yeah, we have more coming in tomorrow.
I'm
But the
properly
stuff burns
impressed.
like hell.
You can say that again.
And
I must say I'm properly impressed by your constitution.
it's 'cause this is the only stuff we drink for hours on end. They want to toughen us up. Yeah, those who don't have the strength to do this get kicked out of the faction.
You think it's working?
And you can see one of the scrawnier members of the table pass out. Yeah, I think it's working all right. And while you're having this conversation, the person from earlier has the little scrawny person on their own has slipped out of the room. You like it here? You want to join the Mercy Killers?
I'm exploring my options. I have some family with you guys, you know.
Really? Are they soldiers or are they just fucking backroom bureaucrats?
Well, faction needs someone to speak for.
Got it, you're an egghead. Well, boys, you know what we do to eggheads? And they all say together, make an omelet! And the two closest to you take turns smacking you on the back of the head.
I'm gonna say no. I'm going to attempt to avoid their slapping me on the back of the head.
Mm-hmm.
Now, eggheads can be useful.
Note, Talbin And really, all three of you are like a foot and a half shorter than the smallest guy at this table. Oh yeah, doing what?
Wait, say again?
Oh yeah, doing what, Egghead? What do you guys do? Aside from getting in the way of the guys doing the real justice around here.
Egghead like me know how to make a little bit of money. You know what money's good for? No one, really?
They're kind of scratching their
Well,
heads.
Bartender. Around.
What, you think we use money here?
Don't they?
No.
I figure like that's something I probably should have I probably should have figured out before I went with that.
Nope. Well, you've never been in the upper tier of the Mercy Killers headquarters. You don't know how they operate up here.
Yeah. I just saw no one paying and just assumed that they had money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. On any other bar, that would have worked.
Mm-hmm. So the bartender laughs at you, and they all kind of laugh at you, some mockingly, some in good faith. And they say, "Nah, the more you can endure, the more respect you get around here. The more you get respect, the more you get."
Wow. I have done a little adventuring myself, you know. I've even caught a couple criminals.
Interesting. Do you got the records of it to prove?
Well, of course I do, but I don't carry them around with me.
Well, then it ain't
Paperwork,
much
that is?
worth, is it?
Do you know how much paperwork that is? It would be impractical for me to carry it around. But let me tell you,
Mhm.
some of my family has put away some of the greatest criminals that you'll have ever dealt with. Some of the people my family has dealt with are people that your Mercy Killers could never have taken down. Not in the way that you or normally operate. That's what eggheads are good for.
They look you over. You look like a rich boy. Was it your folks that did it, or the soldiers they sent out, huh?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Of course, it took hard work from men like you to capture the criminals. But we wouldn't have been able to keep them behind bars without the help from my family. That's
Keep
what
them
the eggheads are
behind
good for.
bars. When you catch a criminal, you're supposed to execute them. Weak-footed shit like behind bars.
Sure, some are too dangerous, but some can be simply stopped. Some can be reintroduced to society as not criminals. Isn't that what makes justice justice? I'm gonna try to persuade them here.
Okay. I'll let you make a
You
check
have
for
to
it.
understand, society's better off if it has enough people to pay the taxes and to create families. Now, it's all right what you do here. Go, kill the worst of the criminals. But if we killed everyone, then we wouldn't have anyone to make the families or pay the taxes or farm the hills. So, we do keep some criminals who aren't doing that bad. Justice is justice, an eye for an eye, correct? What if someone steals a piece of bread? Would you murder him for that?
And while you're making this speech, you hear a bell ring, and you see the biggest dude yet walk into the room. And this guy does not have a helmet on, and you can clearly see his face. He's a very tall, very well-built hobgoblin.
Oh my.
And he says,
Soldiers!
and they take off their helmets on command, and you can see that you were sitting around mostly hobgoblins and bugbears for the last few minutes.
What are you doing wasting your time? Get back to forging!
And they all say, "Yes, sir." And they immediately get up and start getting back to making more weapons. The hobgoblin doesn't say anything to you, but he gives all of you a very sharp look before leaving the room.
Alright. Does this table look particularly well used?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, that's not bad. I'm going to do something. Okay, you guys can keep doing your things. I'm going to think about this for a second.
Okay.
So 'cause
So-
I've been talking for a while anyway, so
Yeah.
let y'all have a turn.
So what are you all up to?
I was kind of passively watching.
Is there any water over by the forging area?
Yeah, there's water.
After I drink the drink, I want to go run over there and wet my mouth because that is some hellish beverage.
So you sort of go over to a bucket that they have, or sort of like a large, it's sort of borderline on like a bathtub size thing, and you take a drink from it. And, you know, as you drink, your mouth calms down, but, you know, everyone's snickering at you and Jenna, or you and Talbin, for not being able to handle the stuff.
Excuse me. At that point, I could care less. I'm just glad that my mouth is cooled down. Afterwards, I go back to the bar and I sit beside Genetheria as I just catch my breath from that.
Okay, so you go outside and catch your breath in the hallway? Or on the staircase?
At the bar with Genetheria.
Ah, okay. And the Azer's kind of looking you both over. But doesn't say anything. So, Jenna, what are you up to? Jenna?
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Just asking what you were up to.
Oh, I was just watching that and kind of snickering that he would think that talking to them would, like, that they would get anywhere.
Give me a perception, Jenna.
Okay.
Okay.
11.
11?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you notice that Talbin is trying to be sneaky right now. But it's probably... You also notice that it's something that's trying to help you, and so you kind of realize it's better not to say anything. Talbin, what are you up to?
Oh, I'm going to stand up and say, well, fool of myself here. And is the big man still in the room?
The Hobgoblin Commander?
Yeah.
No, he is left.
Is there anyone else left in the room?
Yeah, there's the Azer and your friends.
Say that won't.
There's the
what was other
Azer, your friends, and the scrawny guy from earlier who had just recently left.
one? He came back.
Yes. But he kind of looked into the doorway and then left again.
I'm gonna follow him.
Okay. What are you all up to?
I am gonna take another swig of the fire brew before I go.
Okay. Give me another Constitution save.
Oh, 19.
19? Okay, so you think you're starting to get the handle of it.
Okay.
And actually, Sam, actually, Fifth, on your character sheet, please note,
Yep.
Fifth, on your character sheet, a permanent +1 resistance to fire.
Oh. Okay.
Yep. That stuff does stuff to you, doesn't it?
Wow.
It's almost as though these weirdos have a weird method to their madness.
Yeah. I wonder what the other drinks are now.
Mm-hmm.
Probably just as foul and just as effective.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, I'm gonna follow the little stringy man.
Okay. So, he's, well, you can't even tell if it's a he. Much like many of the Mercy Killers, they've completely hidden themselves in a suit of armor. Unlike the others, though, this one doesn't quite seem to fit in theirs.
Do they at least look as if they belong here?
They look like they know what they're doing.
Fair enough.
So, are you following them?
Yes.
Okay, quietly or just visibly?
I'm gonna be somewhat stealthy about it.
Okay. Nerva, Jenna, what are you two up to?
I do want to see where they go before I reveal myself.
Mm-hmm.
All the soldiers are leaving, right? Or were they going to do their job?
The soldiers were cowed back into doing their tasks.
I see. I'll just hang out here. I want to see and watch what they're doing, and but keep my wits and try to stay sharp.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Talbin, as you follow this this fellow, well, you can't even tell their gender. They seem to be going up a staircase to the much higher floors on this building. And you're about at the 46th when they notice you. And they say, "Why are you following me?"
Well, yes, I wanted to talk to you, but I couldn't get your attention.
What do you want?
I've got some family in the Mercy Killers, and I was wondering if there was any way I could try to join you guys.
I'm not the one to talk to for that.
But do you know who that is?
If you are a simple recruit, what are you doing on this high in the building?
Well, I'm not a simple recruit. Well, first of all, I'm not here to be a big mercenary. I know that's what you guys do for the most part, but there has to be some brains behind the operation. My family works in criminal justice. I want to contribute to your cause without, well, I don't have the muscles that most of your men have, obviously, as you can see. I want to be useful. I want to stop the criminals who are plaguing this town, especially after what's happened.
I'm not the one to talk to for that. Go back down to the bottom stairs. Ask them there.
Of course. Should I say you sent me?
Don't say anything, just go.
And they continue
course.
back up the staircase.
I'm gonna... That was a little sketchy, but did I see his face when he turned to face me? When he noticed me?
Nope, you can just tell that it's someone completely covered head to toe in armor. But not the size, the imposing size of the others. You can tell this, though. That...
Yes?
You can tell that they wore a helmet that was not skull-shaped. It was long in the front. And that they did not have a normal leg structure.
They have a normal leg structure?
They have an abnormal leg structure.
And a elongated...
And an elongated
Was
face.
their voice weirdly raspy?
Not that you know of. Or not that you noticed, no.
Okay. I'm going to make my way back down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just generally going to look around the forge.
Suddenly, you hear a voice over the intercom.
What I hear?
This is Exarch number 2. There are unwanted entities in the barracks. I want them removed now.
Okay.
3 elves. Remove them now. I don't know what they did to get this far, but they are in total violation of the law.
That's our cue.
Wait, can we hear this too?
Yes.
Uh,
And the Azer that looks at both of you at the bar stool.
You know, these guys, they aren't that loyal to the faction. If you leave now, they won't notice you.
I grab Mira's hand and lead us both back the way we came from.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna head straight back to the bar first.
Mm. So you two, so you guys are going downstairs, and Talbin, you're heading towards the bar?
Just very quickly, I just want to,
Okay.
Actually, has anyone been in the bar since I left it?
Anyone
else, come in?
No, not that you notice.
I didn't notice?
No.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna go in and collect what I left.
Mm-hmm. And on the downstairs area, you can see soldiers starting to march up the stairs. Nira and Jenna, there are soldiers marching up the staircase, and this is a one-way passage.
There are other
Are there any windows?
There are no windows on this building.
Fuck.
There are other staircases, though, right?
There are 5 in total, yes.
Want to try to find another staircase?
Yeah, let's do that.
Mm.
Okay. From where we're at, can we see any other staircase?
The one leading up, and that's about it from the part you can see, anyways.
Do you have any spells?
I believe so. That poison spray.
Okay. Want to look for the other staircase?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot. Are we able to see one from where we're at?
Another staircase. The one leading up, and you know that there is one if to the west and one to the east. It's a round building, so there's 5 in total. If you head far enough in any direction, you'll eventually hit one.
Okay. I grab Genevieve in his hand, and I around the circumference of the building till we reach another.
So as you're running, you see more armed guards coming towards you from the other direction before you hit another staircase.
Are there any behind us?
Behind you, just the ones heading up, but you still have time.
Do you want to turn around and try to make our way down? We could try to climb down, or...
Wait, climb down, but there's no window.
What does the staircase look like? Is it like a staircase that's traversing the, like, to the cylinder, the, like, outside surface of the cylinder, or
Yep.
is it like a...
Around the cylinder, in a circular shape. So it's basically 5 strands of a helix going upwards.
I see. We could try to climb along the underside of that stair.
Actually, are there...
What were you saying?
I was gonna say, are there any flagons of the fire brew still in the bar when I go in?
Yeah, there's still plenty of fire brew.
Alright, well, I'm gonna grab one of the fuller ones and walk out with it.
Like a cask of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Or it's just a glass, a flagon, whatever.
Okay, so you grab a bottle of it. The Azer gives you a weird look, but he isn't paid enough to care about this shit.
It's good stuff.
And so you make your way out, and you catch up with the others. Nerva, Jenna. So there's guards coming from the left hallway, the right hallway, and from below.
Now, what did you two do that started this all?
What did we do?
I think it was just because we entered here. But now we gotta get out. Do you see any way we can get out?
Is there any way we can get... so let's see, we've got the guards behind and the guards approaching us from the front.
Yeah.
So from below and your left and right are covered.
We could try to evade the guards coming, or hide until they pass.
No, they're going to be searching for us. That won't last long, and if we're hiding, it'll look more suspicious. We're in the forge level, aren't we?
What?
We could grab weapons.
We're in the forge level, aren't we?
Yeah.
Is there armor laying around?
There is armor laying around, yes. There's
Is
armor in the
possibly-
staircase upwards, and the fire brew, and the hobgoblins and bugbears that don't care enough to pursue you.
I'm gonna grab some... I'm gonna find some armor that fits not... Well, it doesn't have to fit well, it just has to fit well enough. One of the smaller sets that I can find. I'm gonna try to bring it to a side room and put it on.
Okay.
I have a set of armor on me because that's useful when you're doing anti-government stuff.
Well, no, like I've got my basic leather armor on, but I'm disguising myself.
Oh, you're right. I will follow suit and also grab some armor and try to hide myself with that.
Ditto.
That was a good idea first.
So yeah, I'm gonna dress up as one of them and put on one of their helmets.
Okay. So you guys put on your disguises, and not long after that, you're approached by one of the groups looking for you guys.
Yeah, I still have my flagon of fire brew.
Mm-hmm. And they immediately ask, "Did you see that? Did you see him?
I was gonna ask you the same thing.
Where are they?
Do you know where they've gone?
No.
Maybe
Wait,
they're not on this level.
you're a bit
They would
scrawny.
have run by now.
You're a bit scrawny to be enforcers. What are you?" And now I'm
Just
gonna
because
need.
someone's small, they can't fight criminals.
I'm gonna need one of you to give me a persuasion check to try and
I'll
talk
do
this
that.
guy. Okay.
Because I'm the one talking, I might as well.
Okay.
25.
Alright, small fry. You check upstairs, we'll check downstairs.
Yeah, sounds good.
And they march off.
We're checking
together.
downstairs?
No, we're checking upstairs.
Heck.
Tell me if you find anything.
Right,
I want to ring them myself.
I'll set the iron golem not to let anyone through. They'll be trapped up here.
Good one.
And he fist bumps you.
I fist bump him.
And give me an 8. What's your AC?
Me?
Yeah,
Oh god. Great, 14?
14.
Actually, no. What's it probably depends upon the armor that I've got on now.
Alright, so
Do we know what their armor gives?
plate armor.
Oh jeez. Then probably like 16.
Okay, so alright, yeah, your armor protects you from an unarmed strike of damage.
Yeah, I figured.
And the very bulky creature heads off, and the guard that approached you was of large size, by the way, not just sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
Okay, so
I'm gonna walk towards. Let's see. I'm gonna walk towards the staircase, obviously. Is the guy who I talk? Well, actually, towards a different staircase than the guy who I talked to is walking towards.
He's going down.
There's 5, right? So I'm gonna walk towards a different staircase, and you guys are free to follow me if you want.
Yes, please.
Sure.
And I'm going to talk to one of the guards that was at the staircase, or if there's any more guards at this new staircase.
Yeah, everything's on high alert right now.
Okay. I'm gonna walk up to this guard with my flagon of fire brew.
This one doesn't say much.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say, hey, I figured out where they were.
What you got?
I just talked to I don't remember his name. It's so hard to tell with these armors. He said he was gonna go look for him downstairs. But I found another guy who said he saw them going upstairs.
Yeah. You going upstairs then?
They gotta be up there somewhere.
Be my guest.
Oh, can't I finish my flagon first?
No.
This is top priority. It's headed down by Exarch 2.
Oh. Well, do you want it?
I've already had my fill.
Shoot yourself. I'm going to start walking upstairs.
Nerva, Jenna, what are you two up to?
So obviously we don't apparently have a better option.
I guess we're all going upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it'd be better if we were all a group, because then it would look like we're a patrolling group of soldiers, and that way we have plausible,
That's a good point.
or we're more plausible.
Okay, so as you go upstairs, what are you all looking for? You know,
A way out.
a way out.
Yeah, an escape.
Okay, so you head up, and you keep heading up till you finally hit the 50th floor. And you can see that the walls become partitioned here into 5 offices. Or you assume that there's 5 offices because there's one for each section of the building. And you see that this section is headed under Exarch 2. And you can hear the Exarch in his office, and you hear him talking with someone else.
Can we hear what he's talking about?
Yeah, one of you can make an investigation or a stealth check to try and not get caught as you do so. And that's an option for any of you.
I have low bonuses.
Alright.
I can roll if you want. Oh, you go.
Well, yeah, I'll make a stealth check or a, what was the other one? Investigation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'd have a better chance with stealth.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you press your ear up to the door.
23.
Okay. You listen really closely. And here's what you can overhear the Exarch saying to the other figure in the room. The hit went perfectly. Just as you foretold. The guy's dead. The city is in chaos. They'll need someone to restore order. The harmonium's not fit to do it right now. The plan went excellently. Thank you for all your help. And then you hear one of the deepest, graveliest, like, you know, more than I could feasibly do, but you hear a voice. No,
Our assistance and contract is guaranteed. Lord Asmodeus works as miracles. But now it's time for you to deliver Sigil as we promised. Will you be able to get the other Exarchs on board?
and you hear the first voice say, like, yes, of course I will. But don't you're speaking too loud, others might overhear us.
Oh, I already know they're listening in.
That's my cue.
And there's one more interesting thing on this floor that you all have noticed. That there is a bridge to sort of a central area above the courtyard, leading from the 50th floor, and they all kind of converge in this central bridge area. And you're not quite sure what's in the center of it. It looks kind of like a pool. Like someone has like a hot tub 50 floors above the courtyard.
Oh, sure, why not? I've got nothing better to do. I'm going to, bolt is a good word for it. I'm just going to clear into some kind of cover as fast as I can, so even if they open the door, it's not me they see.
No,
And I'm gonna whisper, "Go!"
This
run,"
is like an
to
office
the
hallway.
other
There's
two.
not really much in the way of cover.
No, but there might be a turn in the hallway somewhere.
Yeah, the doorway to Exarch 3's room. That's about it.
Does it look like there's anyone in there?
Not that you know of.
Fuck it, I'm going in.
And, Nerva? Jenna, what are you two up to?
Seeing that he's running, I run and follow.
I'll walk over, but I'll keep guard. Looking casual, making sure it doesn't look like we're trying to break in there. But keeping watch.
So, Exarch 3's room closes tightly behind you as you make your way in. And Exarch 3's room isn't an office, it's a pit. As you
Wait, did we fall?
No, as you step into Exarch 3's room, the sensation of falling hits you guys, but you aren't falling. Yet, every sensation you have is telling you that you are. You can see the doorway falling and vanishing further and further away as you descend deeper and deeper into this unknown place. And
Does there
suddenly,
look to be an end to?
yeah, you hit the ground, and it's a
Suddenly what?
you hit the ground, and it's a very firm landing. You can see
Okay.
above you a sky filled with metal. Cubes and pyramids
Oh, no.
and cylinders bashing into each other.
Oh no.
And you have found yourself in Exarch 3's domain, the plane of Acheron.
Fun times.
And we recognize where we are.
I mean, you've all heard stories of the place.
Is there still a door to the room?
Yeah, about 700 feet in the air.
Are there any rooms around the room?
No, you're just in Acheron in an empty metal field now. And 700 feet up, there's a doorway.
Don't suppose either of you can use magic, can you?
None that would help us here.
Well, what if we get a really long rope?
I don't think I have a rope that long. Well, better keep on the armor at least. Doesn't hurt to have some protection.
Now, as people who know about Sigil, you know that there are many doorways into the place. So,
Actually, yeah, that's good.
odds
Perhaps we
are
can
there
look for
will
another
be
portal.
other pathways into Sigil. Like, not even that far
either-
from here if you know where to look.
Are there any clear pathways in Acheron?
I mean, the place looks like a battlefield. Like, just metal, broken spears, dead and dying soldiers. In the distance, you can make out three things. A exploded cottage, a remnants of a small skirmish, and a cliffside overlooking a place that you can't see.
I'm gonna inspect the cottage.
That's a good bet.
Sure.
Okay, so all three of you head over to the exploded cottage. And, you know, it looks like the place has been hit by an artillery shell. It's a complete shell of what it once was. And you can see...
Whatever an artillery shell is.
You can... Well, yeah, but in the meta,
Yeah, no, I get it.
to describe it to the peepos, not to, you know, your players.
I know.
But you can see sort of a skeleton slumped against the wall, missing its bottom half. And you can see dust and scraps covering the entirety of the place. What little remains of it is a carpet and a few picture frames.
I'm gonna move aside the carpet.
With the what?
I'm gonna move aside the carpet. I'm searching for a trapdoor.
Okay. I wanna give Nerva and Jenna carte blanche on the first action though, because I want to give them, you know, more of a chance to RP.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been talking a bit much.
It's all good. So Nerva, Jenna, what do you either of you see in this room that intrigues you?
I see the pictures, and I want to see if there's anything behind them.
Okay.
What else was in the room?
A skeleton, a carpet covered in debris, and picture frames that have been mostly blown up.
What was the first one? I
Skeleton.
probably want that. I'll investigate the skeleton.
Okay. So, Jenna, you first look behind the picture frames, and there's not too much behind them. On the picture frames themselves, though, you see pictures of a Yugoloth family. And Nerva, you investigate the skeleton. You start to prod at it and, like, move it around a bit. When you hear, "Hey, what are you doing?" Trying to jostle me, are you, funny boy?
No, I merely wanted to see whether you were alive still.
Well, I'm obviously not alive, funny boy. And he points to Jenna. What's that funny boy doing with them picture frames, eh? And what's that funny boy doing with the carpet?
Was this your cottage?
No, I'm just trying to take a nap from battles, see? Geez, you have to fight a battle every night around here. I figured I'd get some rest before having to fight again.
I'll let you get your sleep as I walk away from the skeleton.
Well, what are y'all doing here? Y'all don't seem like much of warriors. And, Talbin, you lift up the carpet, and there's not anything underneath it that you can make out. This here. Okay. So... I'm going to say the skeleton is still looking at you, Nerva, and he's saying, "So funny, what you doing around here?"
We're not really sure. We just got thrown in here from a portal ? And we're trying to see what all is here and how we can get back.
Planeswalkers, eh?
Phone call.
That's okay. Is phone call over or no?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Planeswalkers, eh? Don't see too many of them round here. Mostly it's just us natives duking it out. Well, I know about that door you're talking about. That's right, they installed that only a couple weeks ago. New Exarch. Yep.
Do you know anything?
Hmm?
Do you know anything about him?
What, the Exarch that uses that door?
Yeah.
Well, they built it up 700 feet high so no one touches it. Alright. You want more than that, though. Let me... They're very new around here. Some sort of devil, I think.
A devil?
Yeah, I don't get to see their face much, though. You know, that there isn't really any straight portal from the Nine Hells to Sigil. At least not to where they're trying to get to. And so usually what they do is they use Acheron as a little jumping ground. Their portal that they come from the Nine Hells, is about a mile from here. That's as much as I know, though.
I look towards Calvin and Genetheria, and I say, there's this portal to the Nine Realms, and we could either escape that way if we need to, so that probably wouldn't be fun, or we could just be on the lookout for anyone passing from the Nine Realms to...
You would willingly walk through the Nine Hells?
No, but if someone is walking from there to Sigil, then we could perhaps see how they got back and follow them.
That's very risky.
Oh, you're trying to get back to Sigil, you say?
Yes, do you know what...
Yes.
Oh, that's all I had to say. Sure. Take me over and I'll show you where there's one at. I'm, he gestures to his legs. Not much for walking right now, you see.
Is this the skeleton half?
Yeah,
Yes.
this is the skeleton half.
Very well.
Yep.
I think we might be able to find a place for you, actually.
Really? Whoa. Sounds fancy.
I know some people. It won't be the best arrangement, but you will be in Sigil.
That's right. Us undead, we all know a way around here. There's a secret portal to the negative energy plane, or not negative energy plane, to the Dustman's hideout around here. Of course, the Dustmen don't keep anywhere near as good a record as the others do. Here, who's gonna carry me? No volunteers.
I'll carry you. What's your name?
My name? Jones. Jones the Bones.
Jones?
That's right. I've forgotten my original identity. That's what all my comrades call me, though.
Alright, Jones, I'll carry you.
Alright. Follow me to the cliffside. Well, I'll follow you to the cliffside.
I pick Jones up and start carrying it.
Alright, I'll follow her.
So you all make it to the cliffside, and you see below you a large field of metal spikes just dotting it all over the place. And there's a lot of dead corpses and skeletons impaled on the spikes below. Yep, the Dustmen are a very morbid bunch. What you gotta do to open up the portal here is throw some salt off this cliff and then jump.
Do you have salt? Have salt?
What, me? If I had salt, I'd be out of here months ago. I mean,
Ethereal?
No.
I have some rations. I don't know if I would have salt in there.
well,
I don't.
do you want the funny possibility or the straightforward one?
I do have.
I,
I suppose I never actually dropped it. I do have a flagon of fire brew.
That doesn't have salt in it.
funny one.
Funny.
Funny.
Okay, so I was going to say, if you chose a straightforward one, I was just going to say, fuck it, you have salt in your rations. That seems pretty reasonable, honestly. But if you want the funny options, Jones takes his arm and he takes off his helmet that he has, and he reaches in, and he's just, I don't have any salt on me. I do have all this dandruff, though, and it's salt.
Do you mind if I borrow some of that for a second?
Sure. I don't even... Actually, now that I think of it, how do I get all this dandruff? I don't have any hair.
I get a pinch of the dandruff and I throw it off the edge.
Okay.
Is it a pinch for all of us or a pinch for each?
A pinch for each. The portal's invisible, though, so you'll have to trust me and jump.
Does he seem trustworthy as a skeleton?
I mean, it's a talking skeleton. There's not too much in the way of expressions to read on his face.
He's got nothing to lose, I mean.
I jump first.
I mean, you have a lot to lose. You could die.
You could die, yeah.
Oh, no, the skeleton doesn't have much to lose if he lies to us, so I don't trust him.
I mean, he's a skeleton in Acheron. He wants to rack up as many kills as possible.
I heard Genetheria
Exactly.
said...
But, Genetheria, you've jumped?
No.
Oh, okay.
So, what's the readout, folks?
I think it's worth a try.
We could collect the rest that's on his head and let him go first.
Well, he's given us an out, so... I suppose... It's probably safer to jump than to stay here and wait for Exarch 3 to get back and come and find us here.
Yeah, then maybe we can make another way down. How far does it look to the area where the spears are and killing the skeletons below?
Oh, the spikes? It's about a 400-foot drop.
What does the side of the cliff look like in the way of, like, climbing handholds?
It's sheer metal, all the way down.
Like, sheer metal or...
Yep, it's pretty fucking sheer.
I see.
Acheron is not a place for subtlety.
I guess at this point then it's kind of throw the salt or wait around and probably get killed, so...
Shouldn't we let him go first? Collect the rest of the dandruff and let him go first?
Oh, you want to toss the
But if you
skeleton
have to-
off the
if you have
side?
to toss the skeleton down.
He said he wanted to be free of this place, right? And he's unable to move anywhere because he doesn't have legs.
Would you mind that, Jones? If we threw you first?
Sure, why not? Handsome men first, it seems. So,
Okay,
I don't really have the
gonna grab
capacity to
attention.
jump, though.
Dandruff.
I
It's
position
a
it full so everyone can grab some dandruff.
Yes, of
I'll grab
course.
some dandruff and... Well... I'm ready when you are.
Okay. I grab a pinch for myself, and then I grab a pinch and throw it off, and then kind of dump Jones into the abyss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he's gone.
Well, I didn't...
Did he, like, just disappear, or
Yeah,
did he...
he vanished.
I see.
I'm not hearing
Okay.
you hit the bottom. It's worth a try.
Okay, I'm willing to go right now and risk it.
None of you have a fear of heights
I-
or spike impalement? Some brave adventurers, but alright.
I'm watching her.
Alright.
I throw my bit of salt off and I jump into the abyss.
Okay, so you make your leap. And much the way of Jones, you vanish.
Not that go-to. Pinch drop.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you're gone. And Talbin, you follow? Yes or no? Okay. So all three of you have
Yes, I'm going to
made the leap.
the pinch, make the leap.
And you all fall, whoop, and gone. You come to, and you're in a place with a deep, abiding darkness to it. You're all elves, though, so you all have dark vision, don't you?
Yep.
Yep.
It's very dark, though, so much the way cats can't see in total darkness, even you have trouble making out anything down here. It
That's
smells like formaldehyde.
Is the ground soft or hard?
The ground is soft, but in a hard way. Like very firm
I
mud.
reach my hand down and touch the ground and see what it feels like.
Yep, that's some mysterious brown muddy liquid.
I get a little bit on my finger and I taste it.
Ew.
Make a Constitution save.
Say that again?
Make a Constitution save. No, seriously. Wow, that's loud.
9.
9? Okay, you immediately begin to retch and you take 1 point of damage. It is foul. It tastes like rotten meat. Or like something has gone deeply wrong in the state of making like a dessert. Or like you've bitten into a spoiled egg. It is absolutely foul. And you can...
I call out, Jones, where are your bones?
You don't know it yet, but you have contracted a disease.
Oh, what?
Chlamydia.
Syphilis.
Something truly awful.
Do you want me to add a condition?
We'll do that after the game. We're about to end the session for today, I think.
Cool.
I'm gonna explore for a way out.
Mm-hmm. You feel around, and you accidentally bump into a lever, and a low light source comes on across the room. Like very
Can I make out
low
anything in the light?
torches. What?
Can I make out anything in the light?
Yeah. You're in sort of an open crypt. There is a sort of hole in the floor, kind of like a sewer grate for liquid to fall down on. And then you see, across the hallway of the room, dead bodies kind of being pressed like grapes or olives into olive oil, and a liquid coming down from them into the grate in the center of the room. And yeah, that is what you put a little bit of in your mouth.
Oh, fun.
No, it's truly awful. Welcome, everyone, to the hideout of the Dustman.
Well, I try to keep myself from retching.
And I think with the introduction to the Dustman's hideout, that's where we'll leave it off for this week.
Okay.
Great to be back, everyone, and we're gonna have fun in Sigil! Yay! Maybe more fun than the Dustman hideout, but
Whoa.
we'll get to the fun eventually. Goodbye, everyone!
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.